How's it going, you guys, and welcome back to ConstantlyVariedFitness. And in this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about my 90 days straight of RomWod, my opinion on it, my results, and what I think overall of RomWod as a stretch routine. Now, 2 years ago, I did 30 days straight of RomWod. I did it the same exact time. I started on January 1st. I said, hey, I want to give myself a little challenge and not do the typical new year, new me, where it's like I want to make these huge, extravagant changes. It's like, you know, I don't really want to change that much for myself, but I do want to perform better in my workouts. And one thing I was doing 2 years ago was not stretching. I essentially never stretched. I warmed it up a little bit and then I just got into whatever I was doing, whether it be a workout or a strength portion or whatever it was. I never really stretched much. So I was like, I'm going to stretch more after my workouts now, just to see how the benefits would be, how I'd feel. And after my challenge 2 years ago of my 30 days straight RomWod, I felt amazing. My body was moving so well. I was like, my soreness was significantly decreasing to where like I barely ever got sore from my workouts anymore. Like the 30 days of RomWod made a huge impact on my like overall health and fitness and my mobility. It was fantastic. So after that, I kind of just, got into the routine of stretching every now and then. I would definitely stretch after my workouts, maybe a little bit before my workouts, to where I was still being a little consistent on it. I wasn't, before when I was 22, when I first started the 30 days, I never stretched. I got into the routine of stretching a little bit before and after my workouts, but nothing too crazy or too concrete. And then come 2019, where I was like, I want to try to up the ante a little bit. I want to do 90 days straight of RomWod because I was getting to the point where I was slowly starting to stop my stretching routines, and I was really not stretching at all anymore. And I could feel my hips getting tight, my back was getting stiff, my shoulders weren't feeling so great during my workouts. So boom, 90 days it is. I do 90 days of RomWod every single day. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I was posting on my story every single day, and I still have it up on a highlights if you want to skim through and see if I actually did them. But every single day, usually before I went to bed, sometimes I do it right after my workouts, which I personally prefer because I feel like once my body's more mobile and it feels good, I can hit these positions better to where I can get into a deeper position. Like for example, pigeon for me is super hard. My hamstrings and glutes are always really tight, so when I get into pigeon, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel comfortable, whereas if I hit it right after my workouts, it'll feel better. But majority of the time, I did them before I went to bed. With these 90 days, I noticed a less significant increase than the 30 days of RomWod. When I was doing the 30 days of RomWod, I felt like they focused a lot on the full body. It was a good amount of lower body because we do a lot of lower body movements in CrossFit. They say every day is leg day, but I feel like there was a good amount of upper body stuff as well. Whereas this time through, I felt like all we were doing was lower half. It was always hips, 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 glutes, quads, hips, hips, hips. And then every now and then they throw in some shoulders like 2 or 3 times a week. They throw in some upper back. It was definitely there. I'm not saying that it wasn't enough, but for me personally, I felt like I needed more of that. And for a lot of the members that I see, a lot of people have tight hips, yeah, sure, but a lot of people have really tight upper bodies as well because they're at a desk all day or they drive all day, they have a crazy commute, whatever it is. It's like people are just stiff all over, and I feel like I feel like RomWod focused so heavily on the lower half that the upper half wasn't getting as much attention as it needed. That also being said, like every single day the routines are about 20 minutes, except for their Warrior Thursday that can be anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes. The Warrior Thursday was great. I noticed a good amount of mobility increase after doing those really, really long holds. But sometimes it's like we would do like a 2-minute saddle, 2-minute drag on each side. We would do a straddle, and then you would do a puppy dog. And these stretches just weren't enough for me personally to really get enough of a stretch and lengthen of my muscles and my joints to really notice a huge difference. Again, going back to the 30 days, I felt amazing. My body was fantastic. I don't know if they've changed anything in the past 2 years, but from these 90 days, I didn't notice as much of a mobility increase. I had to still do a good amount of stretching before my workouts. Not saying that RomWod is just the end all be all. If you RomWod, you don't have to stretch at all around your workouts. Still stretch around your workouts, but I still felt stiff warming up. I didn't feel as mobile as I once did, and I felt like they were just lacking. And I think the reason is I was doing the the daily routine that they were posting. On RomWod, it's nice because they have the filter option. You can say, hey, I want to focus on my shoulders, I want to focus on my upper back, I want to focus on these other areas that I'm suffering in, or suffering in that are more restricted. And because of that, it makes it beneficial because you can really choose which areas you want to target for that day. But for me, I was like, I'm just going to post the one that they suggest every single day. I would assume that it would be a well-balanced, like obviously some days will be more lower half, some days more upper half, some days maybe just all quads, really attack the quads or ankles, whatever it is. But I feel like it'd be overall throughout the course of the 7 days, you'd get a really well-rounded stretch routine done and your body would really benefit from it. I felt like that wasn't the case. I felt like I was just still really tight and stiff and I wasn't getting as much out of it as I was hoping I did. And I feel like they could have been benefiting more if they were to include more upper body stuff, if they were to allow me to kind of just spend more time on these stretches that I feel like they neglect. Because there were a few times, I would say there's like 3 or 4 exercises that I saw over the course of those 90 days that I only saw once. I felt like, well, this is a totally new stretch. I've never seen this before. Out of 90 days, I've seen it once, where I guarantee you see dragon or lizard at least 3 times a week, at least. So I know that they have more stretches that they can give us. I know that there's more ways they can do it. I feel like they've been just so stagnant in doing the same thing for so long that they could be doing more to the program to make it even more beneficial to a lot of us athletes. And if they want to try to broaden their range of not just focusing on CrossFitters, I think that's where they started off at. I want to say the owners were like yogis, in the sense of like they were doing a lot of yoga and then they thought like, this would be good for CrossFit. I think I heard it in a podcast somewhere. Don't quote me on that. But I think their main, focus was the CrossFit market. And now I've seen that they're slowly starting to work towards like USA weightlifting. They're trying to broaden their range and they're crushing it. That they're reaching more and more people and they're making more of an impact. But one thing that I think they could do that would make even a bigger change was include more things like bands, include lacrosse balls, include foam rollers into the routine. Like say, hey, this routine, we're gonna spend 2 minutes on our calves and then we're gonna hop into a down dog position. Obviously, their whole focus is it being like a yoga type routine where you don't really need anything, you just need a mat, and then you don't really need a mat, you can just do it anywhere and get the benefits of it, which I definitely like about that. But I feel like they could also do I feel like I'm saying I feel like a lot. But in my opinion, I think that they could do another program alongside the one they currently have, incorporating bands, incorporating a wall, incorporating all these different stretches. Like for example, I love couch stretch. Couch stretch is so beneficial for myself and a lot of my athletes, and I feel like couch stretch would be something that would be really good that they can throw into the mix. They do versions of it. They do like a lizard where you grab your back legs to get a little more in your quad. But I feel like it's not the same and it's not as passive where like I'm kind of like compressed and tight and it doesn't feel as good, whereas a couch stretch, it's gonna hit it hard and you're gonna feel the benefits of it afterwards. So I feel like RomWod, in the sense of the routine, is getting more and more stagnant. I don't know, this is me personally. I know a lot of people do it, a lot of games athletes do it, like RomWod is all over the place and they're crushing it, and I still do like it. I recommend it if you are someone that just doesn't know what to do after your workouts and you just want a quick 20-minute routine that you can add to your day just to make sure that you are staying limber and you're recovering after your workouts. Cool. But if you're someone that just started CrossFit, you're someone that's really tight and restricted and like overhead squats just do not happen for you. You can't do an overhead squat with an empty bar to save your life. Or maybe you just can't squat below parallel because your hips are like rocks and you have to really break it up and open them up. I feel like bands, lacrosse balls, these things where they're really gonna help open up and release the muscles are being, I don't want to say more beneficial, but I would say beneficial in a way to help get you to a good base. And then from there, once you just want to try to maintain and kind of, maybe increase in certain areas, RomWod would be the way to go. That's my opinion. For me personally, I don't think RomWod is the best routine out there. I know that there are some other programs. I haven't tried them out, but I know there's other ones now that are slowly starting to come about that I've seen other athletes post that focus on using banded exercises. They use PVCs, they use other different tools to help them really get into a good position before their workouts, after their workouts, just make sure that they feel good throughout the whole entire day. So at the end of the 90 days, I canceled my RomWod membership. Not to say that RomWod is a bad routine. If you, again, someone that just needs someone to tell them what to do for 20 minutes for their stretches, I recommend it. If you're someone that just wants to do it 3 to 4 times a week and just you're gonna pick and choose, I wanna focus on my shoulders, my hamstrings, and my calves for this day, RomWod's the way to go. But for me personally, I didn't really like doing RomWod towards the last 3 days. I felt like it was more like a burden and I wasn't really getting as much out of it as I could anymore. And again, I was doing a lot of my own stretches alongside of RomWod because I felt like it wasn't doing it for me anymore. They were missing a lot of areas for me personally that made it not as beneficial to continue doing. So that's my take on RomWod. If RomWod hears this, like I mentioned, I would love to see something where it's like a whole new program you guys incorporate into your website or your app that allows you to do another stretch routine, including bands, including the wall, including other equipment tools that are going to allow us to really open up and just be more beneficial. I don't see, why not incorporate as much mobility tools as possible, but then again, that's not their gimmick, that's not their thing. So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have done RomWod, if you're contemplating doing RomWod, if you know anything about RomWod, let me know in the comments. I'm interested in hear you guys think about this. But at the end of the day, again, I'm not doing RomWod anymore. I'm gonna maybe try out some other things and see what else is out there. But 90 days, I got a little more limber. My squat felt better, but that was about it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this and me doing 90-day challenges of different, CrossFit-y type mobility routines or workout programs, whatever it is, let me know. Subscribe for plenty more videos. If you don't already, follow us on Instagram at ConstantlyVariedFitness, and we'll see you guys next time.